Okay, now we're gonna give this a try. Oh, this is really good. Chef's kiss. Hi, I'm Sharmee, and today we're gonna be cooking spicy salted egg pasta. So my version of spicy salted egg yolk pasta makes use of all the ingredients from different communities, different cuisines in Singapore. So you've got your salted egg yolk from your typical Chinese cha-cha restaurants, and then you've got your chili padi from your Malay food, and then you've got curry leaves, which is very prominent and important in Indian cuisine. And of course, you have the quintessential pasta, which is very prominent in your Western cuisine in Singapore especially. It's a little bit of a mix from each ethnic community in Singapore, and you have the CMIO complete in one dish. So I first had this dish in KL, and it was just in a food court, and it was the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. So I decided I need to replicate that back when I got home. I always like to add a bit of pizzazz, a lot of spiciness in my life, and I think spiciness in pasta is really a great combination. So we're going to prepare everything first. We're going to do our mise en place, and of course the first thing that's important is our garlic cloves. You know how it is when you have garlic in your recipe, when they call for 5, you add 10. So I've got 8 cloves of garlic over here, and then I'm just going to prep, and then I'm just going to chop them up. So the funny thing is, I may be known as the Sambal Queen, but when I first started cooking, I was cooking a lot of pastas, a lot of Western dishes, because my sister started cooking a lot of Western food, and it was very different from the repertoire of Malay dishes that my mother was cooking every day. She has like a certain 6 Malay dishes that she'll put on repeat, and it came to a point where, you know what, I want to cook foods that my mom didn't know how to cook. So that's how I started cooking. I think the first time I cooked for my mom mac and cheese, she actually asked me, can I eat this with sambal belacan? And then I didn't talk to her for the rest of the day. I do agree that some Western dishes is a little bit too creamy for our Asian palate, and that's where, fusion dishes like this comes in, where we make Western food a bit more palatable for our Asian tongue. So now we're going to be prepping the chili padi. You can actually throw the seeds away, but where's the kick in that, right? So now we're going to destem our curry leaves. You want more curry leaves because I'm going to deep fry some of the curry leaves to use it as garnish. It's like bawang goreng, how bawang goreng changes all your soups. Right? You guys know what I'm talking about. My son, he's 4 years old now, and he's always been in the kitchen with me since he was young because he thinks that's playtime for him. I think to him it's a way he can connect with me, because personally it's very boring to play with kids and kids' toys. So I would rather him play with me in the kitchen and let him have a hand, at real life survival skills. Because I feel like cooking is a survival skill. That is also like a plus point lah. So I hope my future daughter-in-law will thank me for training him in the kitchen. So now I'm going to prepare the chicken. I'm going to salt the chicken, and then we're going to sear it skin side down because we want that crispy, crispy, crispy skin. No keropok. That's what we're trying to do. I'm going to quicken the process, and we're going to put a weight on top. The beautiful thing about localizing global dishes is that you make use of whatever ingredients that is local to you. You've got chili padi, you've got curry leaves, you've got garlic, and these are things that are already locally grown. So it's about making it really, truly local, I suppose. So you won't have to rely on exorbitant prices of foreign imported ingredients. Alright. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna separate the skin. It will be like a keropok on top of the pasta. And then I'm gonna be cutting the chicken because the chicken is still raw. And this goes back into the pan later when we make our sauce. In Malay, there's this thing called air tangan. Literally means hand water. So air tangan makes your food extra delicious. For me, like a pinch is this amount. But for my mom, a pinch is another amount. So that's what makes the dish unique. So we're going to cook the pasta and the sauce concurrently. So we've got a pot of water. You don't want to be reliant on machines basically to make food for you. I mean, yes, it's easy, but you can't get that air tangan deliciousness in your food. I think there's a certain connection, there's a certain soul you give to food when it's made from hand. First, I'm going to fry some of my curry leaves. So can you imagine the chicken fat, all the juices is in the pan, and then we're going to add the curry leaves. So you have chicken flavoured curry leaves. Sedap. And this is also a very common way of cooking in Indian cuisine. You have the tadka, where you add the aromats after you are done with cooking the main curry or the main gravy dish. I think I really hope for Singaporeans to learn how to make basic Singaporean dishes from scratch. You know, it's really sad to hear sometimes, you know, Singaporeans living abroad and they're like, oh, I miss my mother's rendang, oh, I miss my mother's ayam masak merah, that kind of thing. They rely on like instant paste and then they complain, oh, it's not the same like my mother's, you know. I'm like, of course it's not gonna be the same, it's from a packet, you know. It's really a good skill for you to just learn like maybe 3 basic Singaporean dishes so that you have that permanent memory of Singapore wherever you go in the world. So you can share the food with your friends, you know, your peers who may not even hear of Singapore before. So heavy cream is a very ang moh ingredient. In local Asian dishes, we use evaporated milk because heavy cream is a lot thicker, so you'll get that sauce coated onto the pasta a lot nicely. Okay, we're done. Okay, now we're gonna give this a try. So it's not as spicy as I like it to be, but I'm pretty sure 4 chili patis is enough for you guys. And you can taste the curry leaves. Oh, and the salted egg yolk. Oh, this is really good. Chef's kiss. And if you ever find yourself in a situation where you can't find halal Italian fusion food, this is the recipe you need to try. So I do hope that in the future my kids would learn how to appreciate both authentic local dishes and at the same time making it their own, making it fusion per se, and making our local food more prominent on the international level.